we're taught to look on the outside for things, you know. And it's like when we can get in nature more, it's just that's where we should be because we're put in boxes. There's not a my body. We're not designed to be in these boxes. It's not our natural state. Everything in the universe is fluid and flowing. Everything, you know, frequencies, it doesn't go like this, you know, like that. We hit a corner and we stop. We hit a corner and we stop. That's by design to control humans. We have to get out of these boxes and we have to be out in nature where everything is round, fluid. There's no square edges out in nature. If it's a square edge, man made it, you know. So I'm getting ready to be in Peru in about less than 2 weeks, and I'm going to go to Lake Titicaca, which is the highest navigable water body of water on the planet at 12,500 feet. So I'm going to go there. I have a ceremony. I get these downloads. I have a ceremony I'm going to do on the Island of the Sun. I've got a friend coming in from Australia that's going to be my feminine energy there, and we're going to stay on the Island of the Sun, spend the night, and we're going to do a ceremony there, and then we're going to go into the ancient site of Tiwanaku, and then we're going to go into Pumapunku, the big H block site, and then we're traveling down. And Dr. Nathan Bryan from Austin, he's joining me. He's the founder of Numa Nitric Oxide. She actually has nitric oxide lozenges. So when we build I don't think I finished. The biggest thing that we do after we build all the chemicals from breathing is we build nitric oxide. And that's what expands our blood vessels. That's why we get the tingling, the numbness everywhere. And that's where the heal. I have 2 guys heal their erectile dysfunction last year with breathing. It's blood flow. Like most people go through their whole lives and they short breathe and shallow breathe and they don't what's happened for me is like as I've held countless men and women as they're sobbing in my arms and crying and releasing all of this stuff that's been stuck and stored and trapped, they become the healer. I'm only guide people. People say you healed me. I said, I didn't heal shit. I said, it's like I'm the Buddha on your statue at home. Right? Some kid made that little Buddha statue for 25 cents a day in Indonesia. And you sit down there and you pray to that statue. I said, I'm the statue. I have the energy you assigned to me. I said, so this is a team thing here. It's like, I set the container. Do I have the ability to push my heart through my hands and connect? Yeah. Do people think I'm using tuning forks when it's just my fingers? Yeah. So
They think what?
they're tuning forks. They'll come out of the session and I've had my fingers on their heart and their third eye. This one woman, like a couple of weeks ago, she just exploded. She was like, you know, her whole body started shaking. And she asked where we were processing. She goes, what frequency tuning forks were you using? And I was like, those were my fingers. She goes, shut up. She's a woman that's been in energy work for a long time. And I said, no, those are my fingers. She goes, that's insane. I was like, you know, when we breathe long enough and hard enough, and we can go into altered states, and we can access our third eye journey state that people are looking for. The stuff that they do with ayahuasca and San Pedro and all these other things, they're false realities. They're false places. They're made from the outside in. When you build it from the inside out, your breath knows the way home. It'll show you what you need to heal, and it'll heal it for you if you do it long enough and enough times in a row. The biggest testimonial I have is I had a woman come into my women's only retreat in February, and she calls me a week before the retreat. She goes, what the fuck am I doing coming to this women's retreat? I said, why? She goes, well, it's a breathwork retreat, and I have a collapsed lung that was caused by a pulmonary aneurysm that was created by the chemotherapy for my leukemia that's in remission. Why am I coming to this thing? Because you're going to heal yourself. That's why you're coming. So come. So she came for 5 days. She breathed like a beast. Had all kinds of crazy journeys, you know, and she was screaming and yelling, and all the anger came out, you know, because she's been going through this for a while. So she goes home, and 4 weeks later, she calls me up, and she goes, Ocean, I got to talk to you right now. I say, what's going on? She said, my doctor's at the Mayo Clinic, and my cardiologist just did a scan, and my pulmonary aneurysms disappeared. I'm like, yeah. She goes, they've never seen one disappear before. I said, we can heal ourselves, honey. I said, the breath and all the chemicals we make in our body, the ancients talk about it. The Mayans talk about it. All the ancients in Sumeria talk about the power of the breath. And that doesn't sell anything, though. You know, it doesn't sell anything. So, you know, they don't want you to know that stuff. But she sent me a message just the other day from her cardiovascular doctor that said, hey, I re-looked at your scan again, and now we're not going to have to remove your lung, and you don't have to come see me until next April. Yeah. So I've got story after story like that, and of people that are physically healing themselves through breath work, and it's not sexy. It doesn't make people feel. I've had a lot of people want to get on board and put money behind me and what I'm doing, and I don't deal with people that aren't of integrity. Most people are saying, "How can we get on board with you and make money?" I said, We're not going to do that. Make money, don't make. I'll be poor the rest of my life if I have to. I'm going to do it from this place, and I'm going to help people heal. Make money, don't make money is none of my business. You know, I
How and where do you live now? Like
I live in
actually.
Santa Monica right now currently, but it looks like I'm probably getting ready to be a little nomadic. Because a year after my awakening, I sold all my possessions. So in 2020, I sold my car, my house, my possessions, all my belongings. I closed my real estate company I'd owned for 19 years, and I had 2 suitcases and a backpack. That's it. So I'm a minimalist. I don't have a lot of stuff. I have a small studio in Santa Monica. My car is paid for. I don't own a credit card, so I'm pretty fluid and liquid right now, and I can do and go where I'm called to go and do what I want to do. My kids are in college doing their own thing now, so I don't have to be there on call for them as much. And there's a lot of doors opening for me right now. The medical director with Cedar Sinai, I'm going to meet with him next week because I really want to get funding behind some of the research on this stuff so we can clinically prove it. But Big Brother's going to not like that when we start doing that stuff. So we got to navigate those waters. I want to build some sound healing centers. I want to build the first one in Sedona if I can, called Hypogeum. The Hypogeum is, I was telling you before the show, is in Malta, and it's an underground sound resonance room in stone, and they have those all over the planet actually. So they knew how to use frequency to put people in the middle of these things and hit certain frequencies, certain hertz, and the vibration would go through their body and heal them. So it's a cellular rearrangement, and that's how they made the ancient sites too with sound. They levitated stuff and they shaped stuff through sound and frequency and vibration. That's how they made all these sites. So yeah.
So
Mhm.
I want to know more about the future. Like, what do you want to do? Ideally, like where?
Ideally,
Yes.
I really don't think I want to, because right now I put myself in position. I've got a digital book cover with me and Kevin Harrington and Tony Robbins on it. I've got the books with Kevin. I've been on his television show on Fox Business. I've got 2 endorsement videos from Kevin that he gave me for the books and for the activation breath work. I have the course online. So if you people want to know what I do, I have a 14 module activation breath work course online right now for $3.99. If people want to go, want to be trained by me, and coming up in November for 12 days, we're going to be at the pyramids at Teotihuacan at the Dreaming House. So I'm going to train. Last year, I trained 6 facilitators for 6 months, and I've streamlined it now where you take the online course and then you come to Teotihuacan for 12 days with me, and we're going to do a lot of damn breath work, take journeys into the pyramid. We're going to do a sweat lodge out in the cactus fields. We're going to go underneath the belly of the Pyramid of the Sun at night. One of the guards will take us underneath, and we go and meditate underneath the Pyramid of the Sun, right underneath a nail that's the center of it. Last time we had one woman, and we us men put her underneath the nail, and we all circled her, and we all sang to her, and told her how much we loved her and that she's safe now, to help heal the feminine, the wounded feminine on the planet. So between the breath work, and I have retreats. I have the women's retreat coming up. Send your daughter. Um, I've got spots open October 19th through the 23rd. My next women's retreat. I've done 2 this year already. We're going to go to the Sedona Wolf Sanctuary. We're going to go, but all of those we're going to do a sweat lodge and do what I just did here. But there's something bigger coming. I'm really good on stage. I'm really good with the microphone, speaking in front of big groups. I can access people's hearts real quick because I share mine so vulnerably. I'm so open with it, right? And my tears come up a lot. And when I can get in, my magic is in front of people. Doing the online stuff is like one thing. I didn't realize I fought doing anything online because when I do breath work, I'm physically involved with people. I mean, I can put their feet on my chest and move their knees back into their ears as they're breathing to help make it harder on them so they'll activate more. But my magic is really in person. But when people were asking me to go online with it, I was like, I don't know how to do that because there's all these other online breathwork people that are doing stuff right now. And that was the reason I started training my facilitators because people like, and no judgment, but John Paul Crimi and some other guys are out there in mortality breathwork, and they're just volume. They're just people running through people through a mill. There's no integration. There's no healing work taking place. They're just the psychologists. You know, like Vitality, that guy, he did 19 breath works in November last year in 18 cities with 200 people plus showing up at $100 a person, right? 20 grand a night, 25,000 a night, right? And he's coming into town once a year. And it's like, that is so not okay. It's like, great. They go and they come in and they have this great, thing that he does, whatever. And then they go home and there's nothing. It's like, I don't want to do that. That's quantity versus quality.
Right.
And I'd rather help 10 people than 100 if we can do the real deep work. So what's coming? What do I expect? I don't know. I've had people come to me. I'm looking for funding right now. I actually want somebody to get behind everything I'm doing, Ocean Eagle Inc. right now, and because I'm at a point now where I need money for marketing. Everything's in place. The books, everything. If I had the right people that knew what they were doing, because I own all the rights to all my books, so I can do whatever I want with the books. And then there's a lot of other stuff coming for me right now. The building the healing centers. I think there's an opportunity there to turn money into a lot of money. And then I don't care. I'm not going to go buy a big home again. I've had $1 million homes. I've had all the stuff I've ever wanted that the world says you want to be happy. I call it a suffering board.
Suffering board.
Everybody calls it a dream board. I said, look at my suffering board. I got all that stuff. Why am I still miserable?
Right.
It's because you haven't done the deeper work. Nothing out there can fill that hole inside. We'll chase it the rest of our lives. We'll be miserable.
Um,
What else you got?
I want to know some of the,
Mm,
like you told me about one of them,
hmm
but more experiences like that you have had that are the most incredible that you have witnessed by people coming to your retreats.
Oh man. So Nikki Barrett, Nikki, if you're watching this, I love you. She knows I love her. So Nikki, just this last February, she'd followed me on social media and she got a hold of me and in the Scottsdale area, and I was in Sedona, and I was going to be doing an event down in Scottsdale at a yoga studio, and she called me up. She goes, I'd like to talk to you. And it's like, well, I'm going to be down there. I said, why don't you show up before the event, and while I'm setting up, we'll sit down and we'll talk a little bit. So she comes down and she tells me that she just recently had scheduled 2 suicides, and her husband, excuse me, her husband of 30 years, a year and a half before, had passed away. This September, right now, she's celebrating the 2-year anniversary of his death. And I guess he called her up and she came home, and within an hour and a half, he died in her arms. And she'd lost the will to live. And so she liquidated everything, scheduled 2 suicides, and didn't go through with any of it. And she laid down during that breathwork journey that day and had a blanket with a picture of her husband on top of her. And I spent a lot of time on her. I had about 12 or 13 people in that room at that day. But I spent a lot of time moving energy on her, blew her apart. I mean, her husband showed up and said, "Why are you so upset? I'm happy. Why are you so angry? Don't be mad at the doctors. I'm happy. I want you to go be happy." And she was just sobbing in my arms afterwards. She goes, "Oh my God, oh my God, I want to live. I want to live." So she came 10 days later. She came to my February women's retreat and blew her apart. Just healed everything. She went home and started a new business and got back into life and got into a relationship with a guy. So that's the beautiful thing about that I get to witness and I get to be a part of. I don't care about the money or anything like that. I just want people to heal. And I don't price my retreats like super crazy expensive because I want people to be able to come. And I do have a private chef that comes in and cooks for us. I got a private chef coming in. But so for me, the magic is, so I had a friend of one of my facilitators. He had come. His wife bought him a spot at my men's retreat. This January will be 2 years, but he came to that January retreat, and this is my dear brother now. But he had so much. You ever heard of tetany? People lock up. So people will go in the breathwork journeys and they'll lock up. And he had the worst tetany I've ever seen. Hands, feet, everything was just locked up. It's trauma. So it's trauma that we're not ready to let go of yet. It's energy that we're not ready to release because we hold on to it because it keeps us alive. And that's our security blanket, let's say. So he did the 5-day men's retreat, and he was in tetany almost the whole time, just locked up. But he was committed. He kept breathing, spitting. I was moving energy on him, trying to help him. And he was so profoundly affected that 2 months later he came to another men's retreat, and all that tetany started going away, and he divulged what was going on and what had happened to him as a child between age 11 and 14 that he hadn't told anybody, not even his wife of 23 years. And he divulged it in front of other men, and that set him free. And all the other men in the group, I didn't realize until I started working with men and how many men had sexual abuse. So many of them have sexual trauma and sexual abuse. And it opened that container up. I had a guy at that same retreat who, during the breathwork journey, realized he was raped at age 7. He's 56 years old, had 32 surgeries, been in the military from what was it called, IUDs that blew up and blew his gut up. He had like 32 surgeries. Dear friend, I love Farmer Dave, amazing. But during the breathwork journey, he had a memory that showed back up. And I think part of that was opened up because the other guy shared stuff about his trauma and stuff that happened to him. So when we're vulnerable and we share, it's like in Alcoholics Anonymous, our experience, our strength, and our hope. Our experience, we share it in a general way so that we can let others know that, oh, this person's been where I've been. They've walked where I've walked. And then our strength is what we did to overcome it. And then hope is how amazing my life is now that I've done all the work, And that's it, People walk around a slave and they don't even know it. They don't even know. They have no idea. They're content in their little life, and they're content on letting their government dictate what their little life is, and they're just fucking slaves. They're a slave to the system. They're a slave to debt. They're a slave to their car, their boats, their quads, all their stuff, I remember I had a boat one time. Shit, I was a slave to that thing, man. It's like always hitting a log with a prop, and somebody else borrowed it and ran it into a wing dam, on the Sacramento River, and they possess you. All your possessions end up possessing you. So that's why they're called possessions. So I don't have possessions these days. I don't have anything. I got a meteorite a shaman gave me in Peru. I'm pretty attached to that. You can't have my fucking meteorite. So other than that, I do have a painting that was painted by 250 people called Buddha Lotus. And Buddha Lotus is amazing. I bought her through the auction that they did, the silent auction, painted by 250 people at the Gathering of the Creative. You can see it if you go back through some of my stuff. But that painting's amazing. It's like, and I got the picture of all the 250 people holding it after they painted it.
Wow,
And
that's cool.
yeah, cool stuff, man.
Would you mind talking a little bit more? I think
Mm.
our society needs to hear it a little more about the feminine and masculine energy that
Yeah,
is totally messed up today.
it's all messed up.
Yeah.
And, I'm not homophobic or anything, at all. I love all human beings, and everybody has the right to be and do whatever they want, but I don't know if all gay people were just really hiding all this time, but there's been an explosion, it seems like, and that's no judgment. It's just what it is. It's going on. I can't, even in Texas, West, here we are in the South, it's like, I don't, it's okay, they can, but I just don't know where this line happened. And I did some research, and you can see like the transgender movement, and people don't blow me up, but you can see it. And then the last 2 years, it just spiked up, because media, social media, we know that the dark forces own 90% of all media on the planet. So they use that as their tool. Malcolm X, told us that, media has the ability to make a innocent man look guilty and a guilty man look innocent. And they use that against us, and they use that to control us. But so balancing the feminine and masculine energy on the planet right now, that is about getting the men to let go of this false sense of manhood that they've been given. Don't cry, be a fucking man, you need a truck with big ass tires, and you need to, you have to put this false bravado out there, right? And what happens is they end up objectifying women, and the women don't feel safe. So what's happened with women is women now are very masculine. So women have had to take on the masculine energy to protect themselves. And I do this when I speak from stage. I apologize. I say, women, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that your choices are so slim right now. Your choices are so damn slim. It's like, where did you go, man? Where the hell did you go? So what we've got a society where in Native Americans, they used to be on horseback right? And they would circle the women and children when they were being attacked. Well, we got the pussy ass men sitting in the fucking middle now, and we got the women on horseback protecting these men. And it's like, I see it all the time, and I'm like, we have to come back into proper balance. And before these kings came along, queens ran this world, right? Queens ran this world, and we were the men were in the protective, supportive role, right? Because the women have access to that beautiful divine creativity, right? And they have the love energy, right? And they're the magic. They're the magic. They're the one that births people into this world. They're magic. So they were, Cleopatra and these other ones, they were the ones there, and the men would stand next to each other. And then we would just, we'd learn how to fly together, not separated, not have the men pushing the women down. And then big pharmacy came in and, created stuff like fibromyalgia. That was created by big pharmacy, by the way. You can cure that with breath work, by the way. You can get rid of fibromyalgia with breath
Really?
work. Yeah, hell yeah. It's blood flow, guys. It's like getting the blood and then the oxygen and the medicine through your body. It's my personal opinion. Don't go sit there and say, who are you to say this? I'm telling you, you can cure this shit with breathing. You do it long enough, hard enough, and as many times, do it in a very short period of time. Magic happens, man. I'm telling you, the body is an amazing device, and we are the technology. And I was watching this other guy the other day. He had like his whole house full of all these devices, all these crazy ass devices all over the place, and I'm sitting there with a drum. I'm like, I'm sitting there with a drum. It's like, what are you gonna? Well, you don't need all that stuff, And people want to believe that there's a device that can fix them. They are the device.
Well, they also want the instant gratification. They want it
Right.
now. No one wants to do the work. They just want, it's like, what's that drug that people are taking now to lose weight immediately?
Ozempic.
God damn. Here's the deal.
And it's killing them.
Here's the deal. And I'm not going to do this because I'm showing off. But look, I'm like, that's like, that's 54 years old. And that is simple. I take an avocado in the morning, I open it up, and I eat it with a spoon. I grab 4 hard-boiled eggs, organic, and I eat those. Done. I don't spend hours planning a meal, doing that shit, It's like food is fuel for me. And I exercise,
That's
right?
what I was telling
And
you.
I don't shop at the grocery store.
Oh, where do you shop?
I shop at organic co-ops,
Oh, yeah.
So I go to only co-ops because the dark forces, on the planet, they believe we have to give consent for their plans to work. So the greatest way that they do that is the grocery store. They create the chemicals because you see our food that has 65 ingredients in it here in the United States.
Mhm.
Same food in Europe has 5 ingredients in
Mhm.
it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we go in, we buy the poison. It's on the package. We can see it. We give consent right there. We gave consent. All those poisons and chemicals are getting us sick. And then they sell us the treatment, never the cure. They've had the cure for cancer for a long time, guys.
Oh yeah, I know it.
They've had the cancer. They've had the
100%.
cure for a long time. It makes too much damn money. They've
Yeah.
had the cure for MS as well, but that's $800 an EpiPen. They don't want to get rid of it. It's all about money for them. It's all about control. They don't give a
Asthma,
shit
all of
about
it,
us.
everything.
They create every war on purpose. Right before the war, they position themselves to make money off both sides.
Of course.
Yeah. Gavin Newsom, in California bought $1.4 billion worth of masks when the thing hit, right? You know who owned that mask company? Warren Buffett. That mask company was in China. You know what that mask company was before it was a mask company? 2 months before the pandemic, it was a battery making company. And Warren Buffett switched it over to a mask making company 2 months before the thing actually hit. So, that's the
I
way they
agree.
work.
It's 100% planned.
All of it's planned. I was a deep researcher when all this shit hit, man.
Oh, yeah.
I was down the
Same.
back pages of Canada, all kinds of stuff. I mean, I found a site, this UNCAD site. There was a site that reported import and export tariffs for countries around the world. Well, Canada had this thing on there where they were charged all these, and it showed the whole list. So they were selling COVID. It said on there, COVID-19 test kits in 2018 to 221 countries. They all bought them. All of them. 2018.
Yeah, getting ready.
2018 is when they sold those. And then after I reported that on to social media, I go back to the same site and they said
gone.
medical test kits. They changed
Oh,
it.
it said medical
Test kits. Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, yeah, it was a
Mm-mm-mm.
big plan. But
that
it
just
was,
goes back to what you said.
yeah.
How they control all the information and then they control you.
But real quick on the feminine and masculine stuff. So when the women aren't going to let go of that masculine energy until enough men show up to take their rightful place and be the protector. Because women are afraid right now. They don't trust men, and they shouldn't. They really shouldn't. There's not a lot of us out there that are really healed, and we're not looking at them as pieces of meat, as pieces, because that's what a lot of people do. It's like I can see a pretty woman, and my sacral area doesn't get activated. I don't think I want to have sex with that. I want to fuck that. I don't. That's not what happens anymore. It's like that is a really beautiful human being. That's not mine. That's not mine. And I could admire that without having to harm it or protect it. Matter of fact, if I see anybody harm that, I'm gonna go fucking protect her. So and that's what we got to do. It's like I'll give you an example. So I was at the Santa Monica. I'm an Archangel Michael guy, man. I always fought bullies in elementary school. I always stood up for the underdog. So I'm at the beach the other day at this big grass area, and one of the homeless guys got no shirt on, pants falling off, no shoes, and he's out of his mind. He's walking up to old 80-year-old women in their faces, like within a foot, calling them a C word, saying, you child molester, you fucking rapist, and there's people around. I'm up, I'm in that guy's face, and I'm getting right in between, and I catch him. I said, right here, look in my eyes, look, right here. And he goes, and you could see his whole countenance, and I put my hand on my heart. I said, you got me? And he just, yeah, I got you. He said, go the fuck away. And he walked away. And then he started doing it to another woman. I got right in the middle of his face. And this time I had him go fucking lay down. I said, you see me? And he said, yeah, thank you. And he went and laid down. So I go over to my bag and I grab a banana. And I go back over to him. And I get down on the ground with him and I look at him in the face. And I set the banana next to his face. And I said, I know you're hurting. I know you're mentally not well. But you're not going to fucking hurt these women. You're not going to harm these fucking people. You understand me? Yeah. I said, if you do it again, I'm going to throw you over that fucking cliff. Do you understand me? I said, what? I'm going to throw you over that fucking cliff and I'll go to prison. I don't give a shit. I'll take a bullet for that woman. I said, now eat the fucking banana. You need some potassium. And he ate the banana. So the cop shows up, right? Because there's other guys walking around, guy my size, younger guy. He's not over there helping. He's walking, calling the cops.
Right.
And then there's another guy over there standing there with a dog that was closer to her than I was, right? So I walk over and the guy looks at me and goes, that was amazing. I saw what you did. And I'm like, where the fuck were you?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean you watched?
Everyone wants to film that shit now instead of get involved.
I'm like, that was an 80-something-year-old woman that was trying to get away from this guy, and that's, you just stood there? I mean, What is wrong with you? Where are you, men?
Where are you, men? That happens a lot.
Are you, men?
A lot of that.
Oh my God, it was just like mind-numbing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah, I
any
don't like it either.
questions? Do you have any
I
questions?
don't. I just a whole new world opened up today.
Yeah.
It's a whole new
For real. A
world.
lot of learning.
Yeah, well, there's a message coming through me, guys, and it's like people are a little afraid of me right now because they're not used to somebody like this. It speaks about the masculine and feminine energy healing, and it needs to be spoken. It needs to get out, So, it's coming through. I'm trying to do it through books, through breathwork, through retreats, but there's something else getting ready to pop here. So, yeah.
Good.
I cannot thank you enough. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, I love you both so much, and I love your energy, and I'm super grateful for being that you made space for me and time for me to do this.
I mean, we are so thankful. This is amazing.
I learned a lot. I mean,
I learned a
I'd be
lot.
very interested in reading some of your books too.
Yes.
I got 2 of them with me. I brought them and give you guys.
I want to read them.
Yeah, I got activation breathwork T-shirts for you guys too, and, and
that's
wristbands.
so exciting.
Awesome.
So cool.
Yeah, I brought those for you guys.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, tell everyone where they can reach you for your retreat.
You can go to oceaneagle.org. I have spots available for the October 19th through 23rd retreat. I can't tell you what we're going to do with that. It's so amazing. If you want to learn more about activation breathwork, you can also go to oceaneagle.org. You can go to my link tree in my bio on Instagram. You can find me at all one word Ocean Eagle Breathwork on Instagram. Follow me there. In my link tree, I've got a link to buy anything that I'm selling. I've got a little 4-module course on salt that's $59, and it's me talking for about an hour and 20 minutes of surrender, accept, let go, and trust. And then the online activation breathwork course is $3.99 right now. That's 5 hours of content. I show you everything that I do in breathwork and how to prepare yourself, create a container, hold the space, how to open one, how to close it, how to touch people, when to touch, why to touch, where to touch, how to come in, when to come in, how to leave, when to leave. Teach you everything I know. And then if you take that course and you want to be a facilitator, then you can come to the pyramids at Teotihuacan with me in November 18th through the 29th. Man, what we did last year with I get chills. What we did last year with my 6 facilitators, we did 3 days in Sedona to start last July. We did 10 breathworks in 3 days. I took them through the elements 4 in 1 day. And then we did 14 weeks of online Zooms. And then we went to the pyramids for 8 days and I trained them for 8 days at the pyramids. Man, I've never laughed so much. I cried so much. I didn't realize, because they were all crying and sobbing, but I didn't realize how much working with them was going to change me. And the gift that I got out of it was so amazing. So many ways to get in contact with me. I'm getting ready to set up a retreat to Guatemala, to Lake Atalan. So I just met the Guatemalan consular here in town, actually.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to set up a retreat to Guatemala, and then next year in spring, I'm going to take a group to Egypt. So we're going to go 9 days on the Nile on a boat.
Wow.
We're going to go to
That's
Luxor,
gonna be
Karnak.
amazing.
Yeah, we're going to hit all the ancient sites.
And then all your books.
All the
Yeah.
books, you can find them also on my link tree. They're also on Amazon. So right now, the ones you've got, I don't make anything off the Cracking the Rich Code Volume 2, but it is on Amazon. You can go buy that one. I write, 2/3 of my chapter on creating a business is about my dad, what he did to my mom. And then the Mind Stirring Business Secrets, that one just went #1 bestseller, and yesterday just went nonfiction bronze award just yesterday, and that's through Mindster Media.
Congratulations. Very
That's
cool.
on Amazon, and then the Gift of Inspirations is on Amazon. Salt is on Amazon, and then everything else. I've got the next one, The Gifts of Desperation: A Journey Back to Me. I think that's the one's going to put me on the map. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know. It's none of my business. It's really none of my business. I say it all the time. It's like the details are just none of my business. They've already been arranged. Just got to get the fuck out of the way. Let
Right.
it come through. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again so much.
Thank
Wow.
you. Blessings.
Amazing. Yeah.